On this episode of DC On Screen, the deal gets real as we look at the Peter Bart Deadline article about David Zaslav and the WB Discovery merger. Then, we're covering that massive Superbowl DC Films teaser, Matt Reeves on building his own Batverse, and some behind-the-scenes facts about that Peacemaker finale and the cameos it presented. All that and a whole lot more after these words from our mystery sponsors. Welcome into DC On Screen, the podcast that talks about the DC multiverse on film and television and believes that DC is many things with many tones. And we're giving them all a shot here. I'm David C. Robertson, and this, the man who got all boozed up at the library and told the cops he was Jason Bourne, Jason Goss.
Prove me wrong. Just say the right word.
I know your parents.
I will Manchurian candidate your... No, I do know that library. It was quaint, and I do like the people there.
It's a good library. Mm-hmm. All right, man.
That behind it is where I learned Ultimate Frisbee.
Oh, well. Mm-hmm. That's a whole other level of class right there.
Mm-hmm. That game is single-handedly responsible for why my heart hasn't stopped right this moment.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. you can always tell that suburban life when you hear someone say the words frisbee golf. Like, oh Lord, you grew up a certain way, didn't you?
That's not wrong. I could go 3 miles down the road and there's literally a shop selling the backpacks and the discs. Mm-hmm. And according to them, there's like 6 courses inside 10 minutes. And I'm not hating that shit. Are you kidding? That is a fun game.
Yeah. And, it's just very different from, where I grew up, which was like that that old Dave Chappelle bit. Gun store, liquor store, gun store, liquor store. Pawn shop.
Yeah. That's really too.
I didn't know what frisbee golf was until, God, I was probably 15 or 16, and I heard about it on Seinfeld, of all things, where George just really wants to learn how to play frisbee golf. It seems like it'd be a lot of fun.
To be fair, I don't think I knew what frisbee golf was. I just played Ultimate Frisbee. Those are different things. I didn't know about frisbee golf till my 20s.
Gotcha. Yeah, I thought they were the same thing.
They are not.
Okay.
One is a whole lot of cardio. The other one's just like fucking off for the afternoon and throwing some.
Yeah.
Haven't you gotten to play frisbee golf with me at some point?
Frisbee golf? Yes.
I feel like you just kind of walked behind me and I threw frisbees.
Was that what you and I did with Brandon and Joey?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I watched you guys do it. I think I may have done a couple.
Give it a couple of tosses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have to understand, again, the way I grew up, it was like we would throw a frisbee once and then we'd be like, well, it's on old Miss Jenkins' roof. Mm-hmm. Her Rottweilers are standing out there staring at us like we're chopped liver over here. So,
yeah.
Guess I'll go back inside and play my video game.
Yeah. There's still a soccer ball on the northeast side of Birmingham on a roof that I feel bad about because I couldn't get up there and retrieve it for the person who actually owned it.
Yeah, that happens. You're like, I'm not climbing the Jesus for President sign to get up there. Mm-hmm. Trying to brave the dogs. Oh, man. Okay. Well, would you like to talk about this stuff, this DC stuff?
Let's bring it in.
All right. So there was a recent interview with The Hollywood Reporter. Mm-hmm. And HBO/HBO Max executive Casey Bloys spoke about the future of the synergy within the DC universe. He says one of the things that Ann Sarnoff has been big on is trying to make DC work in a more organized and integrated way. I wasn't there before, so I don't know how things were done. but since I started at HBO Max a year and a half ago, we spend a lot of time talking with Toby Emmerich and Walter Amada and Jim Lee at DC, and we're trying to be mindful about how all the pieces work together. In my estimation, it feels very well organized. That's something that was very important to Anne when she started a few years ago. Now that feels antithetical to everything we've seen coming out of Warner Brothers, but
A little bit. I'm a little confused because, like, part of the, and process so far has seemed like it made sense. It's just that one fucking interview where she infamously shoved her foot as far as it would go into the Warner Brothers' mouth. I'm not sure they're done choking on toes yet.
Yeah, that bit feels like a last-ditch effort.
Yeah.
Because of what is happening now, I believe it was yesterday, Deadline posted an article by Peter Bart titled "The Deal Gets Real at WarnerMedia as David Zaslav ponders his power structure." And the article said many things, but I'll kind of give you the highlights here. David Zaslav has been kind of quiet lately, but he is now back in Hollywood, and he's the big man. He's taking over. So it says, as federal regulators and other random bureaucrats remove their barriers, the long-awaited entity called Warner Brothers Discovery becomes a functioning reality in 4 short weeks. I didn't actually have a timetable on that, but my God, that's not long at all. It says there are high expectations of imminent moves that will impact the power structures spanning television, movies, and news. For over a year, the managements of Warner Brothers, CNN, HBO, and beyond have labored in a bureaucratic cloud with executives implementing policies they knew were likely evanescent. Man, that's dire.
I like this guy's tone, though.
I do, too. So now starts the guessing game.
Really reminds me of, like, Jordan from Studio 60.
I can see that. So now starts the guessing game. Who will be anointed to fill the $43 billion power vacuum? Barred from occupying offices on the Warner's lot or taking formal policy meetings, Zaslav has now concluded his year-long listening tour and is mobilized for action. The insider, quote-unquote, newsletters and tip sheets bristle with rumors of departures, including those of Jason Kyler, touted as a techno maven, and Ann Sarnoff, who registered little impact as chairman of WarnerMedia. Having heard it all in his listening tour, Zaslav is keenly aware of the mythic mistakes of past corporate owners. The article goes on to list the many downfalls of more recent administrations at WB, the Emmerichs and the friggin' Sugiharas and all those cats. Like, there's a bunch of them. Yeah. And it says, by contrast, the network-trained Bob Daly quietly created a disciplined corporate environment when he moved from CBS to Warner Brothers in 1980, ultimately bringing in Terry Semel to share the production burden. One senior agent observes, the Zaslav transition will be more like Daly's. He has done his homework. Man, so that's what we've got on that. And let's do it, man. Let's get Emmerich out. Let's get Ann out. Let's get...
Look, I'm in. But what cracks me up is how much we were thinking, not so long ago. Oh, maybe this is going to be different. I don't know either.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm still rooting for it. Of course, I'm going to root for it.
Yeah.
But yes, of course, we've been through this before.
We absolutely have.
And somewhere in the background, there's Jim Lee just doing real things that actually affect the books and media and actually helping.
He's trying his damnedest, man.
Bless you. Jim Lee, you beautiful bastard. Bless you.
All right, let's talk about this DC Films teaser that they put out at the Super Bowl. My God. I mean, the flash footage is pretty much the same as we saw in that teaser at Fandango.
Yeah.
But I still choked up hearing Keaton's voice.
Right. Yep.
More Black Adam than we've seen before. We got a lot of Black Adam stuff.
Yeah. I'm happy with it.
We pretty much all of the Batman stuff is stuff we've seen before. But Black Adam, man. Black Adam. Dude, the Justice Society looks dope. They really do. It looks cool. Like, I'm getting chills here in the Pierce Brosnan, Dr. Fate voice, talking, oh my God.
I did not know Pierce Brosnan would have such like a central place in my life growing up. Mm-hmm. But, it's still probably the game I've spent the most time on is possibly GoldenEye. Mm-hmm. If not that, the zombie version of like Call of Duty, but GoldenEye after that.
Yeah, I've yet to see that he is. I'm like my history with Pierce Brosnan is flipping through TV and saying, "Oh, there's Remington Steele." Click, moving on.
I just kept thinking he was going to be one of those people, that
and
just
then
sort of hung out and we knew about him, and it is still true even for me, but. God, I've spent so much time with that game at least. But yeah, to see him here again, comforting.
Yeah. And then it's like, that's that guy that's James Bond. I haven't seen any of his movies. Hey, he was in Mrs. Doubtfire. I saw that way too many times. Hey, he was in At World's End. I've seen that way too many times.
Yeah.
That's it.
All that. What's that movie where the heist movie he's in? Thomas Crown Affair.
Oh, okay. All right. I wasn't going to pull that out of my ass.
I've seen that a couple times pretty happily. It was a good movie.
Was it? Mm-hmm. I mean, I've heard good things.
I enjoyed that back in the VHS days. Me and the wife rented that a few times.
See,
that era of Netflix and chill.
Yeah, I've never been a normal person. So I had one really mainstream friend who he could get into that's Matt from MCU Cast. Mm-hmm. And he was like, he could get into the geeky shit with me, but then he could also like pop back and be like, oh man, you haven't seen Thomas Crown Affair? And I'm like, no. Like, oh man, you didn't see Ocean's 11? I'm like, no.
Under what circumstances?
I didn't. I saw it, but I didn't like it. You didn't like Ocean's 11? No, I didn't like Ocean's 11. I don't like heist movies.
I'll give it this. That was a particularly good heist movie. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that was back in his I don't know, blacker headed days, but he's still just as dapper.
Yeah. We would have those weekends. There's like Matt and me and a bunch of his friends, and we're like, he's like, we got to go to the movie gallery. Mm-hmm. We got to pick up U.S. Marshals. Yep, that's what we're going for. And I'm thinking or saying, I haven't even seen The Fugitive. Yep. And he's like, oh, it's not important. I'm like, there's no way that's true. There's no way that's true.
Yeah. And later you would watch Scrubs and go, no, this was relevant.
Right.
I needed this piece of background information.
Oh, God.
I think the janitor himself is actually just Neil Flynn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You haven't seen The Middle yet, have you?
No. I'm probably never going to watch that one.
Oh, it is a fantastic series, though.
I'm sure.
It is. He is so good.
Oh,
Norm Macdonald plays his brother.
All of that. I'm just being realistic about time.
Bullshit. You find time. I know you find time. I've seen you find time. I've watched you turn around and pull time out of your ass. You've got time.
Trying to find time for several things now. I don't think that will be among them. And yes, I will bend the rubber, but no.
For Neil Flynn and Norm Macdonald playing his brother, come on, man.
I mean, goddamn it, yes, that sounds fantastic. Of course, that sounds fantastic.
And it has a good ending. Mm. It's a good show all around.
I know.
Anyway,
I've heard as much.
Yeah, I'm just going to keep inundating you with these demands. Like, you've got to watch Resident Alien. You got to
no, all fair.
Middle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so the Batman advanced tickets are now on sale at Fandango. I have not bought mine.
I haven't.
I have no interest in going to see that on opening day in the middle of COVID. Just to let you guys know, I have every interest in seeing the movie. I want to see the movie.
I'm going to see it as soon as I possibly can. But yeah, it'll be March. It'll be March for sure that I actually go see it.
Well, what we need to do is we need to find like the day it releases, but like kind of early in the morning so that no one's there.
Oh, no. Me and you. All right. So we're going to head a matinee. Mm-hmm. Over at Trustful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Regal 16 if you want to join us.
Yeah, we're going to find that. Anyone who wants to join us is absolutely welcome. I'll buy your ticket.
I mean, we gotta see it like very soon.
Yeah.
After it drops. It's just not going to be at like a midnight showing, or I don't even know if they do those anymore.
Yeah.
Or nothing post sundown, because that's just a recipe for COVID right there.
Yeah. I do mean this though. It'll be in March. It'll be on a weekend. It'll be in the early afternoon, and I will buy your ticket. Just let us know.
Well, damn. Mm-hmm. I'll let you know.
I'm buying Dave's ticket at least.
I'm a pole man. All right, look at this. Matt Reeves apparently got annoyed with Warner Brothers for how often they were asking him to direct the Batman. He said he was deep in post-production.
Bitch, I'm gonna see you soon. Damn it.
He said he was deep in post-production for War of the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
And the studio kept calling him. He says, Warner Brothers kept coming back. I was almost getting annoyed. I was like, wait, what don't they understand about the fact that I am making this movie? And then he says, my agent said, if you have any interest, you might want to find time to take that meeting.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
This is happening, Matt. You got to do this.
Yep.
Okay. And this is not really...
I love it when they do that. Hey, by the way, get the fuck in there.
Mm-hmm.
Get the fuck in the meeting room. Or the Zoom meeting at this point.
So Matt Reeves was talking to Entertainment Weekly.
Mm-hmm. And
he didn't realize this. He says two of the stories that had influence over this movie was Batman The Long Halloween and Batman Dark Victory. And he didn't realize until he was digging into things that they were both written by Jeff Loeb. And Jeff Loeb was his screenwriting teacher at USC.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
He said he was the person who told me that I should become a writer. Jeff Loeb, who wrote those stories, he was very responsible for me pursuing that, because when I went to film school, I was very set on being a director. I'd always written what I was doing as a kid and when I was making short films when I was young, because I thought these are the means to get to make a movie. And I never really separated the two. And then when I was in Loeb's screenwriting class, he said, you have to continue pursuing this because this is something I feel you can do. When I started going through all the comics and I saw he had written them, I was like, this is crazy. So, yeah, I thought that was interesting.
Beautiful. Honestly. I love that stuff.
Yeah, that's really neat. Mm-hmm. Now, Matt Reeves did release Michael Giacchino's Catwoman theme. I believe it's the final single before the movie comes out. They've released quite a few bits of the soundtrack now. And I have not listened because I want to experience it for the first time in the movie.
I agree.
That's just how I roll generally.
Even a recent interview sent by Christopher White to me. I haven't watched yet because I just want to watch the movie.
Oh. All right. So he was also discussing his Batverse, basically. He says, what I really wanted to do with this movie is create a Batverse. You don't do a story and go, this is chapter 1, because you might not get to do chapter 2. So the story had to stand on its own. But the thing about it is that the Bat world is so rich with characters that as you're starting to come to an end, you can already start thinking about the next thing, because the idea, of course, is that Gotham's story never ends. And during a Q&A for the movie in Los Angeles, someone asked about a solo Catwoman series. And he says, you should really talk to the HBO Max reps. I mean, look, what we're really trying to do is to launch this world. If the world embraces this, we have a lot of ideas we want to do. And sure, we want Selena to continue. Their relationship and what they are to each other is, to me, that's the heart of the movie, is the push-pull between the two of them and the way that she's going to evolve and where all of that will go. So we're talking about a lot of things. Of course, we're talking about a lot of things, but we're about to release this movie, and it really comes down to how people receive it. So, yeah, that's... I mean, sure, they're doing a Gordon series. They're doing a Penguin series. Why not? I watch the hell out of a Selena Kyle show.
I would. I like that they're as excited as they are.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of fun. I mean, dear God, like when we started talking about the Batman, it was just not. Hell, it was barely a thing that even existed.
Mm-hmm.
Now there are spinoffs. Oh, it's good to watch your babies grow up, right?
It ain't my baby. I'm just watching other people's kids, you know? Mm-hmm. Which is not always good, you know? All right, so as we know, the Batman is rated PG-13. Matt Reeves says, in my mind, the movie was always going to be gritty, edgy, noir, thrilling spectacle. That was PG-13. That was always what it was, but I always knew that we'd be pushing the limits of what that could be. And so we didn't really have to cut anything. The promotional materials that you're seeing, they're fully reflective of the tone of the movie. There isn't some special cut of the movie where it's like, oh yeah, here's the R rating that you've been desperately wanting. I didn't have to suddenly start drastically cutting the movie or anything like that. I'm happy we got the rating because I want people to see would be able to come to see the movie. But as far as people being excited about the tone that they've been seeing in the promotional materials, that is totally faithful to the tone of the movie. So I guess no Zack Snyder's Justice League for him.
Yeah. I feel like he was saying, I didn't get aired. This is my movie, but there's still going to be some stuffs.
And it did get cleared to release in China, by the way, which is
surprising.
Significant. It's a big deal.
It is. That's a huge fucking market.
China's been lopping studio films off quite a bit lately. They've been saying no to a lot. So yeah, kind of a big deal apparently.
Yeah, it'll be like another couple $100 million probably on that opening weekend.
Fandango asked Robert Pattinson to talk about his future with the role. He says, it was fun doing it. I'm down to do this for as many times as people want to see it. I've got to get this one out first, though. He says, I've talked to Matt about the idea of doing a trilogy. I know it'd be wonderful. I really enjoyed the process. It's such a fun character to play. That'd be lovely. And then Paul Dano, the Riddler, points out there's so much room for this Batman to grow. And Zoe Kravitz, Catwoman, said, I think because Bruce is such a recluse in this film, to see Bruce evolve into a person that knows he has to go perform and be on a yacht, that's a really fun journey to go on. So like, I like, because we've, I don't know about you, man. I've seen a lot of the kerfuffle among Batman fans are like, oh, he's not supposed to be a recluse. He's supposed to be, go out and be, rich guy Bruce Wayne. And I'm like, I think they're building up to it. Like, they'll get there eventually, probably. Yeah. But, a lot of those people are the same people like, Michael Keaton was the best. And I'm like, Michael Keaton was a socially awkward recluse in those movies. He didn't.
Which was a fun take.
It was a fun take. He was a weirdo, though. Like, he wasn't like the big, like, social guy. Yes, he held a charity ball at the beginning of the first movie. But do you remember the weird shit he was saying to people?
Yeah. And drinking cold soup. I mean,
well, that was in the second one, and he did spit it out because it was cold. It was supposed to be cold, damn it. How dare you speak to Alfred that way?
It's meant to be.
Monster.
It's meant to be cold. But the best, I think, at the, like, Playboy thing was probably Belle.
Or Clooney.
Oh, Clooney was good, too. Yeah, that's a good call. Fuck, Val was good, too. You know what? I don't care about my premise anymore. They were all good.
I love Ben Affleck's version of it, where it's like the Playboy, the aging Playboy, who is now just kind of gotten a bit sad, where they're like, he's had enough to drink. Okay, Mr. Wayne, come on. I like your shoes. Okay, Mr. Wayne.
Oh, also really good in moments as Wayne, sorry, where he like is sitting ringside and cloning the phone. That was a good moment.
All right. Let's pop over to some Batgirl real quick. In a recent interview with Deadline, J.K. Simmons, Commissioner Gordon, says Commissioner Gordon, formerly Detective Gordon, is the father of Barbara Gordon, while also the husband of Barbara Gordon. Gets a little confusing. We call the younger one Babs, or Bugs, as she becomes Batgirl. I hope that wasn't a spoiler. My seat didn't get electrified, so I guess I'm allowed to say that. But what's interesting here, to me, is one, he says he's formerly Detective Gordon, which makes me feel like he's playing a freshly commissioned Commissioner Gordon. And he's also still with Barbara, his wife, Barbara, which makes me think even more so that the bad guy, one of the bad guys might be James Gordon Jr.
Yeah.
But, there are all these new set photos. And everyone's talking about like, oh, Michael Keaton's Batman, and J.K. Simmons Gordon. Well, J.K. Simmons Gordon has red hair in the photos. I can't help but wonder, because we haven't actually seen Michael Keaton in this Batman suit. This is actually the same stunt double who's been doing Ben Affleck's Batman for The Flash and Robert Pattinson's Batman on the Batman. So while it is an all black suit with the oval, it could be Ben Affleck earlier in his career.
Good call.
I absolutely have no idea. Like, everyone's saying it's Michael Keaton's Batman. The headlines are saying Michael Keaton's Batman, but that man is not Michael Keaton. The suit looks similar, but I'm like, I don't know, y'all. I don't know.
There's no reason to think that that's not just some other person wearing that suit.
Or, it could be, we had Ezra Miller a couple weeks ago laughing at that Ben Affleck saying it was his last go round with Batman. And, there's nothing to say that Keaton's Batman, maybe it is Keaton's Batman. Maybe Keaton's Batman showed up and talked to friggin' Gordon and was like, all right, look, here's what's going to happen. There's a guy that's going to show up. He's going to be Batman.
Here's the plan.
I'm Batman, but he's a different Batman.
No, I'm Batman.
I'm Batman, but not that Batman.
I'm Batman.
I'm from a different universe.
But I'm Batman. But it's going to be that over and over.
Please, God, no.
I agree.
Yeah. It would be fun, though, if there was like an older Batman showing up and being like, all right, this guy's going to need your help. You're going to need to guide him a little bit because he's going to get a little lost for a minute.
Oh, that'll be delightful.
You just need to stick by him and, okay. Remember when you were really patient with Juno when she got pregnant? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember that. Cool. You're going to need to be patient with this guy.
Yeah.
So he's you, but just not you. No, remember that show that short-lived show you were in where you had a double in another universe? Oh yeah, it's like that.
No, it the same's. But imagine if your little nudge would affect the entire multiverse, which, by the way, you're just getting acquainted with. Also, trillions of people. Hey, by the way, just getting you caught up. Good luck.
Well, aside from Batgirl, apparently Hollywood Reporter is saying that a Wonder Twins live action feature is currently in the works.
Yeah.
For HBO Max. I can't say this name. Adam Sazekiel.
Okay.
Who wrote the Black Adam movie. He worked on that Black Adam movie. He worked on Due Date and Scoob. He is lined up to write and direct the Wonder Twins movie. And that's interesting to me. I mean, if you don't know who the Wonder Twins are, they're alien siblings Zan and Jaina, twins from the planet Exor. Zan has the ability to transform into any form of water. Jaina can transform into any animal. And to make their powers happen, they got to hit their little rings together and go, Wonder Twin powers, activate.
They got a fist bump.
And they run around with this alien monkey named Gleek. Mm-hmm. Now, that's all shit from like Super Friends.
And technically, they exist in like the CW verse.
Do they? Mm-hmm. Where they was?
I think Gleek was brought up.
Oh yeah, Gleek was brought up at the end of Crisis. Yeah.
Yep.
He's running around the Hall of Justice somewhere.
Somewheres.
And they're also in Young Justice, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I'm down for it. This is another one of those where like a lot of people, not the majority, but a lot of people they're making Wonder Twins, but we still have a Superman.
It's not one for the other.
Y'all, it's not one for the other.
Gentlemen, be right.
Everybody kind of lost their shit. A couple weeks ago, Will Smith said that he would love to see the Ayer cut released. He says there's a whole lot that stayed on the floor for Suicide Squad. I'm into it. I'd love to see it. I love that world. I love what we created in both versions. I absolutely would love to see it. That's what he told Variety. Scott Eastwood very recently said that he said he went talking to David Ayer. David Ayer was like, come on this journey with me. I'm going to make you look like a badass. I'm going to make your character pop. I didn't even know what the character was at the time. I have talked to David, and I know my character got a lot more love in the Ayer cut. Yep. So, and the Film Exiles podcast received in their inbox, apparently, a clip of a very different version of the interaction between Harley and Joker when he saves her and she pulls her up onto the helicopter. And instead of them kissing, he was very pissed and she was scared. He was like, the shit I do for you. Yeah, we're going to talk. Oh, God. And that wraps up our movie news, man.
I don't know why you were going to like a Bing Crosby voice for that.
I don't know how to do.
The shit I do for you.
I mean, well, that's what he did. He did he's doing some kind of weird.
He does. And it's actually a lot of fun.
I don't know.
Honestly, that 10 seconds was fucking, I loved it. I really liked it.
Yeah. And so
I do for you.
Let's see, you're going more into a ledger.
Mm-hmm.
He's not doing a ledger. He has a weird
the shit
thing
I do for you. We're gonna talk later.
Yeah. And in between, you know,
he's 20 minutes style.
Yeah. The shit I do for
Maybe
you.
A Neil
Thank
Diamond.
you. Thank you.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk later. Mm-hmm. All right. Lady in the red dress.
Right.
It was like the Bill Murray's old lounge singer act on SNL.
Groundhog? Oh, that too.
Yeah, no, I was thinking about SNL.
Yep.
All right. Well, we're gonna jump to a break, and when we return, we're getting into some Zack Snyder's Justice League stuff in relation to Peacemaker. Hey, you know, it is what it is, and it do what it do, but I'm excited about it. So,
of course,
we're going to talk about that when we come back. And we're back. Now, what's something that you look forward to waking up to every morning? First cup of coffee?
Not for me, personally.
Checking out your Instagram notifications?
I just haven't. It's been a while since I've had caffeine. And I don't have Instagram, so...
Maybe it's the sight of seeing an empty pillow next to you because your spouse has already gone to work and you now wake up in blissful silence.
You know what? That's pretty special to me.
Well, MeUndies wants to add to that list. Start your morning with your favorite underwear. Not just any underwear, but ridiculously soft undies with ridiculous prints that make picking out underwear actually fun. Now, listeners know that the last episode we did, we had our order in for the MeUndies, but we hadn't gotten them yet. And I know you folks have been on the edge of your frickin' seat, waiting to see how we liked them. Well, sit back, relax, give your perineum a rest. You ever sit on the edge of your seat and then you realize, like, you've bruised your taint? Have you done that? I've done that.
It has happened.
It sucks. It's like, oh my God, it's like, it hurts to walk.
You're going to hang out with a body long enough, you're going to bruise that thing.
Yeah.
Fact.
Look, they sent us a pair of underwear.
Mm-hmm.
They sent us pajama pants.
Mm-hmm.
And socks.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and amen to all of it.
Yeah, they're all extraordinary.
I put on those pajama pants,
mm-hmm.
and they were so soft and so comfortable, I suddenly felt like my life was missing a hanging garden of ferns and a hemp rug. I felt like a 57-year-old woman with a 20
in the Garden of Eden.
I felt like a 57-year-old woman with a 22-year-old muscular tennis-playing college student as a roommate.
Of course.
And I am describing someone I knew.
Mm-hmm.
I could never get him to admit that they'd had sex, though.
Of course.
I'm like, I know what you're doing. I don't know, man. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, you do.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, you do.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, the underwear for me ran a size smaller than I think I needed, but it was still the softest underwear I've ever worn. And it didn't bunch. It didn't twist. It didn't hurt my craw and crevices.
Yep.
Like, it is literally I think they're a little tight on me, but they were the best underwear I've ever worn. Like,
yeah, it was good. I told you the actual lounge pants, as they call it.
Mm-hmm.
It's the first time I've actually slept in pants in, I don't know, 12 years.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Those were ridiculous,
happy.
man.
I don't want to say that last.
Like, I feel like someone took, like, women's panties and made, like, loungewear out of them.
Right.
They're very, very soft.
Yeah.
Very comfortable. And the socks, man, they don't have the unseemly seam.
Yeah.
I didn't spend 20 minutes cussing and going out of my mind because I couldn't get that seam across the toes right, you know?
No, they were solid.
It was there. The seam was there. I saw it. And I said, are you going to be a problem? And the toe seam said, may I get you a cup of piping hot Joe, governor? And I knew everything was going to be all right. No, but seriously, the very, very, very
time to seam.
comfortable.
And Mary Poppins replied to you, and you were like, no, we're good here. Governor.
The toe seam opened and a fleshlight came out. And I knew.
Toe seemed open and a fleshlight come out.
And I lubed up.
Over there.
And said, talk about discreet delivery.
All right.
Didn't even order this.
Yeah. The socks were good.
Looks like it's molded after Gemma Jameson.
Yeah.
All right. MeUndies makes the softest fabrics you've ever put on your body, so you can go out, go to work, run your laps, chase the carrot, you know, or you can sit on your couch all day, binge watching comic book movies and arguing with other nerds on Twitter about them, all while living your comfiest life. Sometimes. Once you try their undies, socks, bralettes, and loungewear, you will never go back. Choose from a range of limited editions, prints, and colors and sizes from extra small to 4XL. You can also sign up for their free to join MeUndies membership, where you get a monthly subscription that sends new styles right to your door. Plus, enjoy discounted pricing, free shipping, and exclusive early access to new launches. That's launches, not lunches. That would be a different thing. MeUndies has a great offer for our listeners. For any first-time purchasers, you get 15% off and free shipping. MeUndies also has their promise. If you're not satisfied with any product for any reason, you can return your order for a full refund within 45 days. To get your 15% off your first order and free shipping, go to MeUndies.com/DCOS. That's MeUndies.com/DCOS. Now, on to another thing that was super comfortable.
It's a TV.
Peacemaker.
Oh,
Peacemaker.
God damn it.
Peacemaker.
That was very uncomfortable.
It was very uncomfortable, actually, but in a weird, comforting way. Like, I was like, this is where I live. Mm-hmm. Just copious amounts of cursing, lots of violence, and mentions of superheroes that I don't normally hear about.
Yeah. Giant stories that surprisingly had a huge intersection with the actual universe.
Obscure 80s hair metal. Just
obscure 80s hair metal that I've gotten my child addicted to that soundtrack at this point. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She's like over in the corner, jonesing.
Oh,
like shaking, having withdrawals.
And then you
go and
do you want to taste it? And
yeah, she's
dancing.
Right. In your MeUndies, which is weird. Mm-hmm. But they're just so comfortable, they just draw the child in.
Well, she grabbed him.
It happens. So already, look, Peacemaker's over for the time being, but Peacemaker already has a season 2 announced. Mm-hmm. And there's good reason for that. James Gunn announced Peacemaker finale had the biggest single day performance for an HBO Max original series ever, and the finale viewing was up 44% over the premiere.
Deeply not surprising.
You know, it actually is to me, because most shows have a huge premiere and then slowly dwindle in ratings as the show goes.
Oh, as far as retention goes, yes, that's surprising. As far as the show goes, no, not right. Surprising.
Right. The show is just fantastic.
Yeah. It was one of those you told your friends about and they watched and they went, oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Mm-hmm. So if something has been aired, we will talk about it on the show. Mm-hmm. Spoilers for Peacemaker. If you haven't guessed or heard already, or if you haven't watched it, which you very much should, pause this show and go check out Peacemaker, for God's sake. The Peacemaker season finale, we see the Justice League show up. Mm-hmm. Everybody except for Batman and Cyborg. Mm-hmm. Now, apparently, originally, Batman and Cyborg were there.
Yep.
They had actors doubling for them. And Matt Turner, who was doing Batman, said after that epic Peacemaker finale, I can finally post this, him in the Batman costume. He says, sadly, I and Cyborg were cut from the final edit. Why? Only James Gunn and Warner Brothers Entertainment know that. Now, James Gunn talked to Variety about the choice to have just Wonder Woman, Flash, Superman, and Aquaman. And he says, I don't know what I can say. There are reasons for it, but I'm actually uncertain whether I can say what those reasons are. It might have to do with future stuff. He also said, I really thought it was just because Ezra Miller and Jason Momoa, we actually saw their faces. Everyone else, they were in silhouette.
Yeah. He actually said the same on the Podly podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So
and
that tracks.
Yeah. So he says, I really thought it was just going to be Jason, he told Variety. And he says Gal Gadot and Henry Cavill were never on the table. He also joked that the Justice League had to show up after the action was done because the show's budget wouldn't allow them to actually be part of the finale.
That makes sense.
Like the fight. But he says Ezra was more like the extra thing because I found out he was interested in doing it. And he shot Ezra's bit on the Guardians Volume 3 set. He says, I think before we ever shot the show, we talked to Jason about it. He was cool. So he was pretty much on board from the beginning. And then Ezra, I just found out through some common friends, he liked my movies a lot. And so I asked if he would come in and shoot this scene, and he kindly agreed to do that. Marvel shot it for us while we were shooting Guardians Volume 3.
Right.
And then he says, what motivated Marvel to let them shoot the scene? Gunn says Marvel owed DC because the Peacemaker crew shot my screen test for Chukwudi for Guardians Volume 3, and then we got Ezra with the Guardians Volume 3 crew. Not nearly as much animus between these two entities as people would have you believe.
Who would have thought? Who might have said something similar?
And I love that, the narrative in a certain group of cultists on Twitter, the narrative was Jason Momoa never wanted Aquaman to be a joke, and now James Gunn has made him a joke. Oh, I feel so bad for Jason Momoa. Warner Brothers made him do this. They made Ezra Miller do this. Ezra Miller would never. Y'all.
No, apparently they were both given phone calls and thought it was fucking hilarious.
Well, Jason Momoa was given a phone call and was in on the get-go. Ezra Miller was like, I love James Gunn's movies. Can I please do this? And James Gunn was like, yeah, man, come on.
Are you kidding? Yes, absolutely.
So
we'll do this on the set of Guardians, for God's sake.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to make it happen.
I love when this kind of stuff happens.
Mm-hmm.
You're familiar with Giant Freaking Robot, aren't you?
No.
Okay, well, it's a website called Giant Freaking Robot. It's one of these scoop sites.
Oh.
And they posted, Bane is going to be part of the Peacemaker second season, likely as one of the primary antagonists. Exclusive! And James Gunn responded and says, don't you know by now to make really sure of this stuff before posting? This is bullshit. No one knows what's coming but me, and even I don't fully know.
Yeah, I believe that.
I love when James Gunn calls out the scoopers and was like, you're full of shit.
Yeah, that's fun.
Now, this was interesting. I didn't know this was a real possibility or was even being considered or talked about, but we have an HBO Max boss addressing whether or not the CW shows are going to go to HBO Max exclusively.
Mm-hmm.
And this was Casey Bloys, by the way, again. And it's because, I don't know if we've talked about it on the show, but the CW looks like it's going to be sold by WarnerMedia and Paramount Global to Nexstar Media Group.
Yeah, possibly.
Because the CW itself, the network itself, does not turn a profit, or has not turned a profit. The shows themselves do really well in streaming, and that includes your standard CW, DC shows that so many people hate on. They do really, really well in streaming, y'all.
Yeah.
And so Blois says there's no way of knowing in the current situation, but the crop of CW shows that have that already streamed past seasons on HBO Max are very valuable. He says, we'll see what happens. I don't know in that sale what they're looking to do or not do, but those shows do really well when they come to HBO Max in a window deal. They're really well done and valuable shows to us. I'm not involved in the Nexstar or the CW negotiations or anything like that, so I don't really know. but generally speaking, the shows that Greg does for the CW are very valuable and perform well on HBO Max. So just to let you know, all you folks out there, and you can already get Batwoman, Nancy Drew, Stargirl, Superman and Lois, Walker, Kung Fu, all of that on HBO Max, and it looks like Naomi and 4400 are expected to follow suit.
Riverdale.
So, actually, I think Riverdale might be on Netflix right now.
Oh, fun.
Anyway, so there's that. And this was fun over on Fake Doctors Real Friends. They had to bleep a whole bunch of it because Faison could not say who he was playing. Remember we said we thought that Donald Faison was playing Booster Gold on Legends of Tomorrow?
Yes.
Last time. So he was talking to Zach about it, and Faison said, I don't know how I got this lucky when Raph brought up the role. And he announced that he was playing the role, but editors bleeped the actual name of the character, so he wasn't spoiling the show. Mm-hmm. So he's like, I learned just because they have, and Zach says, I learned because they, of course, wrote me things like, is Zach going to be Bleep? And Braff added, and Faison replied, that's who I think you should play too. I'm guessing Blue Beetle. I would absolutely love to see Blue Beetle and Booster Gold as Zach Braff and Donald Faison.
Oh, fuck, yes.
That would be 100%. Fantastic. I'd also be fine if Zach was Skeets.
Oh, that'd be good too.
But then you have this where Braff asked whether his role would be just a voice, and Faison answered, no, it'd be a character. We'd dress up like effing superheroes, put on superhero outfits.
That's good.
And Braff replied, will you tell Berlanti that I'll do it, or I'll bleep is what they said. But I don't know what, man.
I'm in.
I'm in too, whatever they do. I
mean, so I don't know if you remember like my intro to Doctor Who, but it was basically Mitchell and Webb. Mm-hmm. That dinosaur episode.
Gotcha.
That was the moment where I was like, okay, I guess I have to explore this. And then, of course, it informed the rest of my life.
Mm-hmm. It became a better life.
Yeah. No, I regret nothing. That was fantastic.
All right, so we've got some updates on when the CW shows return. Superman and Lois return with new episodes on Tuesday, February 22nd. Mm-hmm. Naomi returns Tuesday, February 22nd. Legends of Tomorrow returns Wednesday, February 23rd. Batwoman also returns Wednesday, February 23rd. And The Flash returns Wednesday, March 9th.
Gotcha.
So we've got a Gotham Knights TV series logo and production start date revealed. The TV series logo is just like it looks like one of the transition shots of like the city from the show Gotham. That's what it looks like to me. And the Gotham Knights logo just looks like, if you remember that show New York Undercover, that's kind of what it looks like to me.
Oh God, I remember that show.
That Dick Wolf show. New York
I remember
Undercover.
That show so thoroughly, strangely. I like that show.
I liked it, and I watched it up until the point where like the Hispanic dude with the crew cut left, and then I didn't have any interest in it anymore. I was like, oh, I like him.
I watched that very thoroughly. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting. I did too, and I didn't know that about you. We've just never gotten around to that, I guess. We've never gotten around to talking about New York Undercover.
Some red show. Yeah. Oh, that's fair enough.
Anyway, so here's a weird thing. They said principal photography begins April 2022. And here's a weird thing. I think we've talked about this site once before, Murphy's Multiverse, something like that. Mm-hmm. They are saying that they have character descriptions for the Gotham Knights. Gotham Knights looking for an actor 18 or older to fill the role of a series regular that fits the bill of Dick Grayson, the first Robin and adopted son of Bruce Wayne. Described as athletic and sensitive, the character remains resilient despite being vulnerable following the murder of his parents and subsequent adoption by Wayne. It looks like Stephanie Brown will be on the show. A genius-level hacker whose father, a DC villain called Cluemaster, raised her on a steady diet of brain teasers and puzzles. And they're looking for an 18-year-old actress to portray the sarcastic and smart character. They also have deduced that Harper Row, aka Bluebird, is going to be on the team. because they're looking for a female to play a blue-haired bisexual character who has taken to the streets to escape her abusive home. Her brother Cullen also looks to be joining the series, with the studio searching for a transgender actor who identifies as male for the role. If these descriptions are accurate, they are not trying to hide it well with who they're doing. Apparently, there's also going to be a quick-witted British attaché who sounds like it could be Julia Pennyworth. And then, like, one of the main characters is described as the daughter of the most dangerous man in Gotham. So they're thinking Duella Dent, Joker's daughter. Of course, she claimed to be the daughter of the Joker and everybody else and all the other villains.
Yeah.
They're also looking for a handful of other series regulars, including one that could be Lucius Fox's daughter, Tiffany, to join the team, in addition to the already rather large number of characters listed.
Of course.
So, it's interesting if it's true. Be weird to see 2 shows with Nightwing in it, but
yeah,
whatever. Young Justice Fandoms returns this spring. They put out a trailer I didn't watch because I haven't watched this season yet, and I don't need to know that. I haven't got to it yet. I'm busy.
Fair enough.
Teen Titans Go has been renewed, and they're doing DC Superhero Girls crossover Mayhem in the Multiverse. Big Teen Titans Go DC Superhero Girls movie, crossover movie. It looks good, man. Did you watch it?
Yeah.
Did you watch the trailer? I thought it looked good. Like we got shit from Super Friends in there, man. Like in that animation style.
Yeah.
I love that kind of shit, dude. I do. I can't help it.
My daughter said, "Where else?"
Is that good?
She's not wrong.
Oh God. That's a feature-length TV movie, and that will be available on Blu-ray combo pack and digital on May 24th. It premieres on Cartoon Network on May 28th and will stream on HBO Max beginning June 28th. And the Teen Titans Go Season 8 will premiere later in 2022. And the new season will introduce new DC characters, including Beard Hunter. God, that's weird that they're going there. King Shark. It is.
After
and other
Patrol. Yes, of course. That's
plus
weird.
Surprise celebrity guests. Teen Titans Go is the longest running animated series in DC history, with season 8 bringing the show's 400th episode. Isn't that crazy?
Kind of
crazy, or kind of.
Oh, it's definitely crazy. But they've kind of switched brands a couple times.
Well, I don't think this is counting Teen Titans.
Ah, gotcha.
Teen Titans was its own show that ended, and then Teen Titans Go is like a cartoony version of but yeah, then they actually did that crossover movie where they were like Teen Titans versus Teen Titans Go.
Yeah, fair enough.
I dig that shit though. I like all that. That's really cool. I like that they're like, they have different animation styles to the DC superhero girls, and that they're retaining those animation styles like while they're in the same rooms with each other. Yeah. That's really neat. I like all that stuff. Oh,
I dig it.
Anyway, that's it. That's all we got, man.
Fair enough.
You just sounded so like silent and sad.
Oh my God. I guess we'll end this.
Well, let me ask you this. Did you want to do a second episode talking about Peacemaker?
Oh, please. Please.
All right. Well, we're going to get into that, and we'll post that a little later in the week. Until then, keep some DC on your screen.
Our intro music is by Jason Goss and Michael Shackelford. Michael's band, Galactic Engineers of Magnetic Sounds, or GEMS, can be found on SoundCloud and Bandcamp. Visit DCOnScreen.com to find our Patreon, merch, contact information, and every episode of the show for free, including crossovers we've done with other podcasts. DC On Screen is a maladjusted production. For more from me and Jason, including sketch comedy, vlogs, parodies, and our improvised web series Hey Guy, visit maladjusted.tv.